Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Creators Outlet. We're joined once again by our friend from Silverline Comics, Roland Mann. Welcome back.
Woohoo! Thank you. I appreciate it.
I figured you'd be wearing that, and
yeah.
you know.
Well, sometimes I have to tell people, I do have more than one of these shirts.
So, yeah, because your wife would be like,
"You're going on with that?
Are you still wearing that?"
Right, that's right. Well, and which is what we're going to talk about. We've got the show Sunday, so I got to wear it again on Sunday when I'm at the show. So
that means you're doing your own laundry.
That's right. She's like, you know where the detergent is?
Mm-hmm. It's 10 feet away from the meat you just cut.
That's right. Yeah. People are like, what? What?
There he is.
Woohoo! He is awake. Ooh, and it's dark there.
Yeah, should I?
That backlight is giving you an awesome silhouette, though.
Oh. Yeah, someone told me once or recently I looked like I was looking for an author book jacket photo.
Yeah.
How's that? That a little better?
Much better.
Yeah. Slowly emerge out of the darkness. Well, kind of like me. But, I'm so friggin' white that, just the light from my screen, I'm like...
Glowing.
Yeah. Not in the same way our wives do when they have the children either. Yeah. You're glowing! Really? No. I'm just scared. I'm just scared to fuck at you right now, that's all. You wait for her to come up on the roof with an M16. Get in the house!
Now,
right,
are you guys, fairly? Go ahead.
You guys got a lot of stuff going on, because I've been seeing Silverline stuff and other creators that are doing stuff for you. And I was talking to some creators last weekend on CromCon over in the Madness.
Right.
Because I streamed for like 30 hours. So
good grief.
Yeah. We had Friday night from 8 to midnight. Then we had noon to midnight Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. And which it was good because there were ice storms up in Michigan by the lakes, and that's where Pops lives. He lives like on a little island between a couple of lakes, and he says he lost power for a couple of hours. I figured he had myself and Phil there, so he's like, yeah, screw it, I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah. 30 hours, that's rough on the old butt cheeks, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Well, I every once in a while I switch back. I jump on my phone and go sit in my recliner for a couple of hours, but
gotcha.
It was good. We had some great creators. I heard the Silverline name dropped a couple of times from some people in there, and I'm like,
good.
I go, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah.
So catch us up to speed. You would last we talked, which was 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
You were just finishing up a new Kickstarter for number 1. And you were just getting ready to wrap up a previous series, and you were starting on like 2 others.
Right. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch ready for the year. I was going. We did on the Silverline stream last night. We talked about the number of Kickstarters. So we've got on our schedule this year. We've got 6 Kickstarters slated. Right, so I've already got them marked off on my Google Calendar, and of course, what we've been doing since about mid last year is that all of our Kickstarters have been 2 books because we're just producing content. So we don't have they're just not enough days to do a Kickstarter per book. So we've got 2 books, and I was telling them, I said, do you realize that means 12 books this year? 12 books in 21. And I think that number kind of, took everybody by surprise. They're like, ooh. I'm like, yeah, but the thing about it is, we've almost got half of those finished already.
Well, that's a good thing, because I'm like, I go, well, you're forcing everybody to work like they're working for, you know,
a comic book company.
Yeah, yeah. Working like for like a real publisher or something. When did this happen?
Listen,
I thought we were just doing a few Kickstarters, and now we're up to like 6 Kickstarters and 24 books and.
but the thing about it is we're having a good time, and that's the thing that you talk to Brent. That's the thing that is important for me. Whenever I talk to someone about doing or working with Silverline, is like this is we have fun. I believe comics should be fun. And if you're not having fun making them, then I think that shows in the work. And I don't think readers are going to have fun reading it. So if you're not going to have fun, you probably ought to go work for somebody else. You probably ought to.
If you're gonna be miserable, say for example, like you're on Daredevil for Marvel, and you're just having a miserable time because you had this great arc planned out. Like, no. He has to team up with Obnoxio the Clown for 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, you're just going to be a miserable SOB and be like, I just don't want to be here. Because with any job, if you're not enjoying what you do, and you're not getting some kind of fulfillment out of what you're doing, whether you're a doctor or nurse in the medical field, you guys in the comic field, me, I guess, in the podcasting field now, I'm having a good time because my favorite thing to do when I go to a show is just go and hang out at Artist Alley and talk to creators to see what they've done, what they've got going on, and I would much rather pay an artist in Artist Alley to do a sketch for me that has contributed to source material for all the stuff that everybody's watching on Netflix and Amazon and Apple and all this other all these other things. And I'd rather give them, the person who created the IP for them to be able to do this, money to have something really cool that's going to mean something to me, and it's probably going to mean something to them because they're like, cool, he wants a sketch. I have 2 spots open today.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's gonna mean more to somebody else, more to the person getting it, because they're getting to hang out with an artist that works on a book that they like.
Yeah.
Instead of I'd rather give an artist for like full cover commission, pencils, inks, and colors. I'd rather give them like, $250 to do that for me than I would go with, Joe Blow that was on like 2 episodes of like a show that's already in reruns for, well, it's $100 to get your picture taken with me. With your own camera. Get out of here.
Sing it, brother. Sing it.
I'm like, I always bring it up when the conversation steers that way, and it's usually me starting it because I feel like bitching about something. But when the conversation goes that way, I'm like, why are you giving your hard-earned money to millionaires?
Yeah.
I go, even if they're like on a show that's been developed and it's on Netflix, they're still getting, and they've never done anything else, they're probably still getting like at least like $1.5 million.
But they need another boat.
See, I would complain about the boat thing, but drunk strippers love boats.
I'll have to take your word on that one.
Oh, I know that because prior to podcasting, when I wasn't in a wheelchair, I spent 35 years DJing at the strip clubs.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So no matter how good one of my friends or cousins' jobs would be, like they get a new job, and it'd be a fairly impressive job, like great salary, great benefits, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing now? I go, naked chicks give me money. Really? How are you going to beat that?
Yeah, for most guys, it's the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, my wife won't get naked if I'm in the room, but I have to give her all my money. So tell us the books you have coming out right now, if you have anything coming out right now, and then we'll get into Kickstarters, because I know you got another one launching up next week.
We've got the one that launches next. Actually, this week. Actually, today's Monday, so it's going to launch on Thursday.
Okay.
We've got Teen Beetle, which is written by John Crowler of all the wrestling comic fame, and some folks probably know him because he did Rochelle, the Teen Cockroach, with the Antarctic Press. He's actually doing the Teen Beetle is. If anybody's fans of the Blue Beetle, they'll recognize a lot of the content in Blue Beetle's public domain now. A lot of people don't realize that, but you have to be careful because it's the old Blue Beetle stuff and not the stuff that DC does. So anyway, so we've got Teen Beetle by John Crowler with art by legendary comic artist Del Barris. And it's going to be the first issue, and of course, the Silverline, so the issue is completely done. We could actually go print it today. I have one cover that I'm still working to finish, but other than that, we could go print it today. And so let's see, I'm trying to think of T. Beetle, John Crowler. And so then the other one is Switchblade, which was published by Silverline in the late 90s. On newsprint. Oh, I had a copy around here earlier. I was showing somebody the newsprint. And so
I remember what newsprint.
Yeah, yep. And
I remember newsprint because I think I was talking to you before that when I went into my coma, a good friend of mine from work took all my stuff but my furniture into storage at his house.
Yeah.
I just got it back 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. So
now
you've got a lot of boxes.
Well, if you look in the shadows behind me, I have about 9 rows of boxes from here over, and they're about 5 feet high. So I've been breaking them down like a little bit here, a little bit there, and I've been finding all kinds of cool stuff, and
newsprint's one of them. Yeah.
Oh, there's lots of newsprint.
Yeah.
Lots of newsprint.
So what we've done is we've taken that and we've digitally remastered all the artwork, and of course then we went in and digitally colored it. So we're calling this. We got a couple of the older books that we're doing this with. This is our Silverline remix, and so we're going to do with Teen Beetle. We're going to do Silverline. We're going to do Switchblade remix issue number 1. And it's going to be a flip book. Oh, I got a flip book still. It's going to be a flip book like the other Kickstarters that we've done. And for those who are like, flip book? What's a flip book? This is a flip book, right? This is from one of our Kickstarters we did earlier. So you have Bloodline on one side, you flip it over, and there's Friar Rush on the other. And you read it, obviously, like this till you get to the center, and then everything is upside down. And then you have to flip it over, or you're either have to flip.
You either flip it over, or you're convinced that somebody printed your manga comic upside down.
Right? Yeah. you either flip it over or flip you over in order to read it. So yeah,
it's easy to flip the book.
Yes, far easier. So and Switchblade, obviously, it's also done. The colors are completely finished. In fact, all 3 issues of Switchblade are completely colored. So we could print all 3 of those today. We're not going to do that, though. We're going to take them one at a time. And so, yeah, that's what launches Thursday. So we're very excited about that. Like I said, we could go to print with them today, but, we need some help to get them the funds for printing and shipping. Yep. So,
but all the works in the the work is all in the can, like always with Silverline.
Yes.
Yep. Everything's done and ready to go, and it's like we just need everybody to jump on the Kickstarter and get it funded so we can pay the printer and get them shipped out.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and then actually Brent is really close to wrapping up Kalis. So Brent, I'll let you take it away with Kalis.
Yeah, we're actually going to do something unique. Well, as far as Silverline is concerned, which is we're going to run a Kickstarter with issues 3 and 4 together, and also a trade collecting the first 4. Right, Roland?
Yeah.
That's still on the table. Okay, so right now issue 3 is pretty much locked down. Issue 4 is about a third of the way sketched and inked, and maybe a quarter of the way colored, which means the script is done. So that's
right.
a good thing. And so we're hoping to get that knocked out in just the next few weeks.
Yep.
So that's going to be issues 3 and 4 of Kalis.
Yeah.
And plus you're putting the trade of all 4 in there.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody hasn't come across this book before, they can just buy the trade and have everything in one. If they've bought the first 2, they can get that. And I'm sure there's a way to do the catch up and buy all 4 floppies too.
Oh yeah. We'll make sure that that's available also.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting.
Yep.
For me, yeah, I'm hoping it's exciting for other people. So.
Yeah, and lest you think that that's it for Brent. Brent's actually working on another. He's working on a new. Now I know he's got more Kalis stories to tell.
Yeah.
But he's actually already started work on a new series for Silverline, which is still going to be that one's still months away. But he's already kind of got off and running with the script for his part. So
he's starting on it now because he knows the book has to be finished before you announce it.
Well, yeah. Well.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as far as other Silverline things, really close to completion. Also, is that we've got Twilight Grim #2 is about 2 pages shy of being finished with the colors. White Devil #1, which is both of those are R.A. Jones books. White Devil #1 is about this is the one Phil's working on, Phil Leon, and I think he's still got about I want to say about 15, 18 pages to do. So I think he had some computer problems and he didn't get much coloring done over the holidays. But so those
he just got his computer back up and running like 20 minutes before we launched CromCon last weekend.
So Phil's coloring that one. So that one's pretty close. Talked with Barb last night, and she is she's about 1/3 of the way finished with Divinity #2. So and Cat and Mouse. Alex gave me the I think he was planning. He shared his schedule with me, and I think he's planning to finish the final issue of the second volume of Cat and Mouse by the end of February. And then along with that, the guy I'm already planning the third volume of Cat and Mouse. Well, Wubba Fett is the penciler for that one. It's going to be inked by Jeff Whiting. He's already, I want to say he's about 3 or 4 pages from finishing the pencils for that one. So yep, we're jamming.
We're
having some fun.
After we wrap this, I'm gonna get on Phil's back. I'm like, look, I had Roland on tonight. He said you're holding up production.
Artist holding up production? No.
Yeah.
So I was busting his chops because I talked to the guys from Naked Cannibal Campers. Look, just the title. I know you want to buy the book already. I
Yeah.
I had a couple of the guys from there on. It's actually the producer of the movie of said name asked them to, saw one of his books in a local shop, I guess down in Florida, and said, "Is that your comic?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to make a comic book for me? Here's my movie. Here's my card," and they're doing it. So
Wow.
it's they get some good. There's Javier Lugo's even doing
I know
a
Javier. Yeah.
doing a cover, and
Nice.
so he was on CromCom this past weekend too, and
I like Javier.
I've actually got an old book that he did with Martin Dunn.
Oh, really?
That the IP of that book was sold to Blizzard and became Overwatch, the game.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that made a few bucks.
Yeah.
just a few. But I've still got one of the original issues. I don't think I'm supposed to own that, but I've got that, and Javier did a sketch on the front cover too.
Oh, cool.
So
Very cool.
I'm not giving that up unless a diehard Overwatch fan shows up at my door with a briefcase full of cash.
Yeah.
Real cash, not that Monopoly stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Bitcoin.
It's funny.
We'll take some of that.
It's funny how loud the green stuff can speak sometime, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Stuff I never thought I would sell, and I'm like,
so you want that? Really? Okay, I'll sell it to you.
okay. Are you sure?
Listen, I remember when I first discovered eBay. All right, I had one of these little kid flashlights. It was about yay big, and you grabbed it, and the light was on the front like this. So you squeezed it, and it went and as you squeezed it, powered the light. Right, Thor was on the side of it. Okay, and this is from 70, I don't know, 72, 3, 4, something like that, from when I was a kid. And in the late 90s, I had given this stuff to my mom. I said, because my mom used to do a whole lot of garage selling. And I said, just sell it. She said, what do you want for it? I said, just put 50 cents on it, Mom. And so the way my mom would do things is that if it went through one yard sale and didn't sell, it got a price slash, right? Because she didn't hold on to crap, right? And so it went from 50 cents to a nickel. And she told me, she said, I can't sell this thing for a nickel. What do you want me to do? I said, Mom, there's this thing called eBay. Let me try eBay out and see, because I'd never used it before. And so I put it on there for, I want to say, $1 or something like that. That blame thing got $30. $30 for a little Thor flashlight.
I had the Batman one just like it.
That nickel could have been yours, Roland.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah, yeah. Somebody could have had it for a whole lot cheaper. So, yeah, that's when I went. This was, like I said, the early 2000s. I went heavy eBay then. I'm like, I can sell this. I can sell this.
eBay was pretty big then. I remember when I got an original Superman the movie poster on eBay, and I'm like, wow, this means like I could get any movie poster I wanted. It's like the garage sale, but it's just stuff that you really want. And I didn't know if by then if the internet was really going to take off or not. So it's gotten bigger since then.
Yeah, the jury was still out then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just a fad.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, someone found the old Silverline website from the late 90s. And apparently there's this thing called the Wayback Machine.
Mm-hmm.
There's a website called the Wayback Machine, and you can go on there and enter in website addresses, and apparently has them archived.
Wow.
And I know, right? And so I found the Silverline site, or they found the Silverline site from like 1997, 7 or 8, something like that, and sent me the link to it. I'm like, wow, look at this. I don't even know where. I don't look at all the beveled pictures. All the pictures with all the bevels in it, all the tables. The website had all these tables on it, and well, I could code HTML back then. So
wow,
yeah, But once Flash came along, I'm like, yeah, I can't do any of that. You lost me with the Flash, and so.
You know, you can never tell. Yeah. You know, I keep seeing the parody of the president band, and he's trying to remember his MySpace password. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I still remember mine.
Yeah, I don't think I never. I don't remember if I ever did MySpace or not. If I did,
I had two of them.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. I don't think I ever did that. I had websites, but I never did the MySpace or.
Yeah.
And before you knew it, it wasn't actually a place to go. It was just ads on top of ads, just scrolling and layering over each other so bad that nothing would load. And
well, I did a lot of the bulletin board rooms, back in before the internet kind of became what it is. I did a lot of those. A lot of I guess they kind of call them chat rooms, but they weren't really chat rooms, but I guess they kind of were. But I was on, a lot of history ones and the comic book ones, and yeah, it was, and I still remember the first time I saw the internet. My wife, because she was working at Mississippi State University, and they were a backbone to the internet at the time. I don't know if they still are. And they had the big T1 connections when everyone else had the 250 baud modems, and she said something, and she started talking about seeing pictures, and I'm like, no, there are no pictures on the internet. And she's like, no, I click it and I see pictures. I'm like, no, you don't. There's just words. And she's like, no, I see pictures on these. I'm like, I think you. I told her, I said, I think you must be making this up. You've got to be seeing something that's not the internet. And so, like the very next day or the day after that or something, I went into her office with her, and she had Mozilla. Was I think the first browser she had, I think, and she popped on Mozilla, and boom, and a website came up, and I'm like, what is this? And I sat down and was just clicking all over the place, and she said, you gotta go. I'm just proved to you that you're wrong. You gotta go because I gotta work, right? And so of course I was there clicking around for like 10 minutes, and so she kicked me out so she could get back to work, and I immediately ran home and like, I gotta get this Mozilla on my on my computer,
The future is now. One day, maybe the pictures will even move.
Right? Yeah.
Well, if I knew we were gonna go in the Wayback Machine, I would have dug out my full Max Headroom head mask on the other side.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know how we got there.
We always do. It's no big deal.
In positive news, more positive news, Brent and I are both going to be at the DeLand Comic and Collectible Show this coming Sunday, and we'll be there signing comics and hopefully selling a bunch, and hopefully
a show. What's that?
I know, right? Yeah.
Let's not go crazy.
I am hoping that 2021 starts off right in DeLand, so fingers crossed.
Because I posted this morning. I go, welcome to 2021, or as I call it, the Book of Revelation.
Yeah. Well, I saw somebody post. They said, I thought 2020 was over, but then I realized that there was 2021, 2022, 2023, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
That's right. If the groundhog pokes his head up,
right.
You've got 9 more years of COVID. Yes.
Oh my gosh! Don't even say that.
I'm scrolling around because I've got like a couple of things on my TV, so I get like early access to some film stuff and everything. and I'm scrolling, and it's like a whole bunch of like movies that are so bad they're not even B horror movies. They're like F horror movies. And
Right.
I scroll down like four movies, and I look, uh, and it's COVID-25, and then I scroll down some more, and it's SARS-25, and I'm like, well, apparently this is from the same team that brought us that other one that was horrendous. You think something big's gonna happen, or at least the woman and her daughter, and like the hero was gonna escape? No, it was like the bad guy from Den of Earth and Heavy Metal. You die, the girl dies, everybody dies. I was like hoping for the best, and then I was like, they all died. Man, I want that hour and a half back.
Yeah.
Luckily, at least I read a couple of comics while I was, you know, kind of paying attention to the movie. But so you get the show this weekend.
Yep.
Hopefully, knock on plastic. That'll go good.
Hope so. I've got my well, you can't see it. I got my bottle of hand sanitizer. The convention asked that every table have a hand sanitizer, so I got my hand sanitizer for the table. Yep. So I don't know how. I always take. Oh, I don't have it here. I always take hand sanitizer with me. Oh, yes, I do. I always take and have for years my own little like private bottle of hand sanitizer. I've just always taken it, right?
Stash in the pocket. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually when I set my table up, I have a little rack that I put some comics on. I put it with like a notepad and some stuff like behind it, and then when people come up and then walk away, then I can just get it, But yeah, they've asked us to put the hand sanitizer, make it available on our tables, so I've got a big bottle for it.
The 5-gallon jug, just throw it out there.
Yeah. So.
Silverline sanitizer.
Yeah, right. They should put a little sticker on it, shouldn't they?
Yeah, just put.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Buy the big bottle and save all the little ones, and use the big bottle to fill up all the little ones. And you put the sticker on and go, you have any hand sanitizer? Yeah, $1.
Yeah.
Huh.
Make me a trip to Costco.
Yeah. And if somebody's being rude, you just pick up the big thing of hand sanitizer with the pump as they're turned around, and you just go squirt them in the back of the head with it. It'll scare them so much that they will actually need more hand sanitizer.
Mm. Well, or you could just say, I thought I saw a germ on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a big germ. It started from about your neck and just worked its way up.
Look, I see COVID. I see COVID.
I see COVID everywhere. I see boxes everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. I found a bunch of cool stuff, some autographs and lots of toys. And I used to subscribe before all this. I subscribed to Loot Crate for a long time.
Mm.
And then when it started getting like really cheesy, I quit them and I went over to the Wizard World Comic-Con boxes.
Okay.
Because at least I get a comic in there.
Right, yeah.
And it's limited edition, and at one point they did their own reprint of Batman Adventures 12.
Oh.
With a variant cover for them. It was like a black and white one, a color one of the variant, and then a slightly different colored one but it was like the original cover. And those 3 books that you got for free in the box sold for the one that had the original cover was selling for like about $150.
Wow. Not bad.
No.
I'm like, okay. Lead the way. So I emptied all of those. I moved all the comics out and everything. And it was funny because one of the boxes that was in there was a promo for the Supergirl TV show. Because it originally aired on CBS and then got canceled CW, snatched it up and filled a hole with it. And but it's when they had just launched the new Supergirl series when this box came out, and there was a homage cover to Neil Adams breaking the kryptonite chains, but he did it with Supergirl. And I didn't realize it until I flipped it over, and the sticker on the back of the bag, told you who it was from and everything. And it's an early John Boy Myers cover. I'm like, cool. I don't see the. I looked at it again. I go, I don't see the attraction, but if somebody wants to buy it because they're a fan of his, I'll be glad to sell it to them. Which brings up another question. When is there going to be a Silver Line subscription box?
Curtis Fujita, who one of our crew, has been really kind of pushing me to do something like that, and so I can't answer your question with any kind of certainty other than to say there is pressure from within to make that happen. So part of it is I've got to figure out the logistics of it and how to make it all work. But it's certainly something that could happen in the not too distant future. If I can just kind of figure out how to make it all work.
Translation: You're not the only geek that's being a pain in my butt about a subscription box. Because I know Brian over at the Cheers to Comic podcast gets it and does like an unboxing. He gets the Scout box every month. And they've got so many, they've got like so many freelance artists working on all these different books, so that they put out like 12 to 16 books a month. So they pack 12 books into the box, and it's really well packed. The way you would expect something that you were actually paying for to show up, not from eBay, but from a reputable source.
Right.
And you get some nice stuff because they do like all kinds of merch and everything. They do like merch for like every single book has its own line of merch. Cooking aprons, mouse pads, T-shirts, coffee mugs. I'm good with the coffee mugs because none of the clothes will fit me. I'm still too fat. I lost 200 pounds, but I'm still too fat to fit in a shirt that they would send me. But they do web store exclusive covers. They also have a deal with the Comic Book Shopping Network. So CBSN gets a variant of every new #1 that comes out from Scout. And they also got a deal like that from Aftershock too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not a big surprise that they both do that, right? Because Aftershock is Joe and Scott is Jim Pruitt, the Pruitt brothers. So
yeah, they're kind of like following each other around.
Yep.
But they do. I know Scout's model right now is they'll release an ash can. People are like, yeah, I don't want to buy the ash can. Well, the ash can actually has 8 pages. It's like a preview of the book, but there's actually an original 8-page story in there, and it turns out every new title that they release, that ash can is actually the first appearance of that character. It's not. It's not number one.
Hmm.
The first issue was actually the second appearance.
Right. Yeah. 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 Ash cans used to be a thing.
Yeah, I found a couple of like old Star Trek ones,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, like like a DS9 and a Next Generation one from the like the early 2000s.
Hmm.
You know, I'm like, well, I still got them.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario is, I pass them along to a buddy of mine for like a little Christmas gift or something one year because he's a bigger Star Trek fan than I am.
Mm.
I'm still a Trekkie, but like I probably read them 3 times already. I gotta make room. I had a nice huge loft, and then all my stuff showed up. And you walk in and it looks like it literally looks like a warehouse because it's an old factory, refurbished into apartments.
That's
But
interesting.
my loft here is like 2,500 square feet. Right now, I probably have about 25 square feet. You come in through the kitchen, and the kitchen floor is clear. But as soon as you make it towards that line into the living area, it's boxes from here all the way over to the back of the couch, boxes from the counter all the way over this way, and then this whole thing, and then I've got boxes and totes down there because I don't know what's in anything, so I just keep doing unboxing videos, and they go pretty well as long as there's toys in the box.
Yeah.
As soon as there's actual books in a box, they're like, I see the numbers go.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Oh, reading. I only want to see the toys. I'm like, oh my god. That just tells me that the lack of Toys R Us is
Oh, yeah.
fiending people like crack addicts now because
Yeah.
I see a lot of the there's a lot of like toy sale groups on Facebook now,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them were the dealers that go to these things that we call shows.
Yeah.
Might be a few there this weekend, but they had nothing else to do, so they fell back to the internet, but they didn't want to do eBay because it means they're getting whacked like double and triple fees. Plus now, so if you use PayPal, they whack you for PayPal back and forth,
Yeah.
and then eBay whacks you. Plus, they're sending you like a tax statement at the end of the year for everything you sell on eBay now.
Huh.
And and they don't, where they used to take their cut as soon as your piece sold. Now they wait until the end of the month, and then they whack your PayPal account for all of their fees, figuring you might not have paid attention, and we're going to take all our money now.
Huh. That's interesting.
And they've imposed so many new rules that I'm like, I sold a couple of things on there, and I'm like, I don't have a lot of money. I'm on a fixed income, so I don't have a lot of money. So I sold something, and I'm waiting for the money to come in to my card so I can use that card to pay the post office to ship them the thing. And they're like, oh no, there's new things now. We hold your money for up to 30 days on every purchase.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I'm like, no. You have to make 25. Like if you're in the States, you have to make 25 sales in the States
Yeah.
And then you have to do like 2 or 3 other things, and after that they will actually not hold all your, they won't hold the money that you just made by selling your own property to somebody else. And so I switched off of there and I built an SD store.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's interesting. Now, I haven't sold anything on or bought anything on eBay in a long, long time.
Hmm.
I sold a couple of things. I sold some books. Uh, you know, I put up a set of the new Wolverine when X-23 took Logan's costume and took
Mm-hmm.
over. Uh, but number 2 is a key issue.
Hmm.
So of course nobody wants anything but the key issues,
Right.
and of course they want to lowball you for all of those so they can take that, get it graded, and sell it for top notch money. I'm like, well, if I wanted to go that low, I would have just mailed it into CBCS myself and
Yeah.
done that. But there's a few books that I have uh, graded, and I just bought a run off some friends of mine that are indie creators, and they've got 4 issues of their book out, and I just bought all 4 issues last week when my stimulus check came in.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, thank you." I go, "Yeah, I was trying to spend my $600 all in one lump place."
Yeah.
So, so we've got all these books coming out. Uh, Possible subscription boxes by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got action figures in the works too.
Yeah. We're still looking into that. So mostly it's about the books. We're doing books.
Just you gotta have that mental release and sit back, read some comic books, and
That's right.
travel to another spot, and you know forget what's going on in the real world that just seems faker by the day, and
Yep.
and
Hmm.
and dive headlong into some comics.
That's right.
I do have to ask you because I know you said it's open game on the Beetle stuff. So were you talking Blue Beetle Dan or are you talking Blue Beetle Ted?
So I'm not the expert on Blue Beetle, but I think Dan Garrett was the first Blue Beetle, right?
He was the one that we know before Ted Cord, yeah.
Yeah. So I think historically, chronologically, like real time, not comic book time.
Hmm.
But I think historically, Dan Garrett is the one that was published. The Dan Garrett Blue Beetle is the one that was published. That's the one that's public domain.
Okay. Yeah, it was published by like a few people.
Yeah, so you just have to be careful if you're going to do Blue Beetle. You have to be careful that you don't do anything that that DC has done, right? Because and you can't even use the name Blue Beetle because they've trademarked those words and that image, right? So
Hmm.
you can't use that or they'll come after you. You can use the character because that's public domain, but they jumped on the logo that they have, and so you can't use that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So you,
it's a fine little line to walk.
hmm. Well, I know like Dynamite and a couple of the other publishers
Yes.
as well uh, lead towards doing that stuff. And
Yes. And that's to me that's actually really very frustrating, and I get it, but one of the things that's frustrating to me is that Dynamite has the now they have the trademark on the Miss Fury. This is a miniseries I wrote in the '90s, right? So
Mhm.
this is I wrote this back before Dynamite was even a thing, and Miss Fury is public domain, and so I can still do Miss Fury, right? And anyone can still do Miss Fury, but I can't use this logo like this on the cover because they have now trademarked that, and it belongs to Dynamite. So part of me, I get it, I guess, but it's public domain for a reason. Let it just be public domain. But for some reason, I guess they think their Miss Fury is going to be better than everybody else's, or I don't know. I don't know.
So you can enjoy the fact that the mouse swooped in on a couple of their big titles the other year, made a movie, and sent them a cease and desist letter.
Oh, yeah, really?
Well, they had a very lucrative Lone Ranger series,
Oh,
and it was actually good. And they're like, we don't care how crappy the movie is, just make it so they can't make the comic.
wow! I didn't know that.
And then they did the same thing with John Carter, Warlord of Mars. And Dynamite's been making those forever, so they had to cancel Warlord of Mars, and they
I
just
thought that was still owned by the Burroughs estate.
It is, but the John Carter Warlord of Mars,
Uh-huh.
they made the movie, so they couldn't touch it for X amount of time.
Wow.
So they ended up, they waited like about a year, and then they brought him back, but they can't call him that, and they can't refer to him. They can't refer to anything that appears in the movie as that. So they had to change names for this, that, and the other thing. And
yeah, copyright law is real interesting. It's like, because I did an adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, and a lot of people know The Wizard of Oz from the movie, and the movie is not public domain, but the novel is. So we can, me and you, we can do another one if we want to. But what we have to be careful of doing when we do our adaptation is that you have to be careful that what you include in your adaptation is in the original novel. If you make something new, it can't have been in the MGM version of the movie, because they'll come after you, right? Like the ruby slippers, for instance, that wasn't in the novel, right? So you can't have ruby slippers in your adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, because MGM will come after you and say, we own that, right? They don't own The Wizard of Oz because that's public domain, so you can still do Dorothy and the Tin Man and all that kind of stuff, but you have to make sure that what you're doing is coming from the original and not from MGM.
I know because there's been more than a few Wizard of Oz comics.
Yes.
As of late.
Yeah. It's because all that stuff is becoming public domain.
Yeah. I know they made like a huge 100 and some page trade, and it's filled all with like mini stories. So they did an anthology. Travis Gibb and a slew of other creators. He came up with the idea of Cthulhu Invades Mars.
Yeah.
And each writer got to pick something specific from the land of Oz, whether it was a character. Somebody did one just on the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
And so it's full of all stories like that. And then, of course, we have David Pepos with the his series, the OZ. So they're using Dorothy Gale's granddaughter, and it's basically like World War II happened in Oz, and now it's it's the OZ, so like the occupied zone.
Yeah.
That's clever.
So I thought that was like a good twist. I like to see things twisted around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
So we have like a dozen books from Silverline
yeah.
coming up by the end of the year.
Yep.
You have a Kickstarter launching on Thursday.
Yep.
And do we have somebody else from Silverline coming to see me next Monday?
Yes, John Crowler, the guy who does Team Beetle, I was telling you about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so he'll be able to talk about Team Beetle, and we'll be in the middle of the Kickstarter at that point in time. So you can scroll through the page and all that kind of stuff with him and talk about what's there. And
Well, send me the thing, and I'll get the Kickstarter shared out, and I'll put it up on the Outright Geekery page, so all of our people can see it as well over there.
that sounds great.
Gotta spread the word.
Yes, spread the word.
What's he gonna do with all those comics if he has to stop making them?
That's right. Yeah. We're not gonna stop. We're having too much fun. We're having too much fun making comics, so we're going to.
You gotta keep going.
We're gonna keep going. So
besides, Brent needs to pay off the eBay debt for that Lord of the Rings poster behind him.
Yeah. Actually, I got that at a what was it? A comic book store giant discount day. I think it was $3. So
wow.
I just had to frame that because I'm like, that's the day I won. You know what I mean? So
I won. I got a great movie poster for $3. I can spring at the dollar store for that $10 frame now.
That's right.
That's what I have. I found so much stuff and a couple of old autograph pieces from I found in an All-Star Squadron #1 that I actually have signed by Jerry Ordway.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So I was excited to see that, and sadly we had another passing in the comic book community this week. So
Lytle, yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. But I know you guys have a bunch of stuff to get to.
I have a class.
I've got parents who demand my attention. So
oh, you have to go teach a class.
Yes, I have to go teach a class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I gotta go. But the beauty is, I get to go teach a class on comic books. So it is still a class. So
you're unplugging from this and just plugging into something else and continuing the conversation.
Yes, exactly.
That's always good.
It is good. It is
living
good.
the dream.
That's right. Yeah.
Living the dream. Since the last time you were on, this podcast actually gets transferred over to ageofradio.org.
Okay.
So all the audio versions are available there. So later on tonight, I will have the link for the audio version, so I'll drop that.
Oh, cool.
I'll drop that into you, and I'll share that around to a bunch of pages. So all the audio versions are there. If we show off anything cool, I always tell them just look for Creators Outlet on YouTube, and you can find. You can see all the stuff we were talking about there.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll drop you the link for the Kickstarter. We've got a sign up page there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and real quick, if somebody wants it, it's kickstarter.com/projects/Roland Mann /Teen Beetle 1 Switchblade 1 no spaces. So.
Well, with a title that, there's no space for anything but that.
Right, I know. I'll send you the link.
Awesome. Talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Brent, great meeting you.
Good to meet you, sir.
And we'll see you next time, and I'll be talking to you in the next couple of days.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Have a
great night.